Stephen A., do you feel like this was his last chance, Kyrie Irving's at a ring?
I don't think it was. I think that Kyrie's a superstar in this league. And I want to say this. Um, very proud of Kyrie. A lot of us should be very proud of Kyrie. He's overcome a lot. And I'm not going to sit up here today and rehash all of those things, completely uncalled for and unnecessary. It's no reason to do that. He overcame a lot and deserves all the praise he was receiving coming into this NBA Finals. However, strictly about basketball, his performances in the 3 games in Boston was horrid. Horrid for his standards. He was a no-show. And it was shocking to see him. Now, at home in Dallas, 2 games, 28 points, 50% shooting from the field, 42% from three-point range. 3 games on the road in Boston, 0 for 3, 14.3 points, 34% shooting, 18% from 3, and he's now 1-6 in the postseason games in Boston since leaving the Celtics following the 2018-2019 season. Boston got in his head, and I'm not talking about the players. I'm talking about the city. I'm talking about the fans. I'm talking about the Kyrie sucks chants. I'm talking about all of that. And the reason why I firmly believe it, it's not just because I've been covering basketball for so long. It's not just because I've seen how heated Boston could get, whether it was Boston and the Lakers or Boston and Philadelphia with their rivalries back in the day. I'm sitting up there when years later when Allen Iverson and the Philadelphia 76ers roll in, Andrea, for a Game 5 in Boston. And I'm sitting at the baseline. This is when Antoine Walker and Paul Pierce were together and stuff like that. And the threes were just raining down upon, just raining down upon me, like, oh, one after another, like, good Lord have mercy. It was bananas in there. Boston, that fan base is so rabid. It is so special. Even Draymond Green admitted it got to him. It affected him. And that's just as an opponent. Kyrie isn't just an opponent. He's a former member of the Celtics who sat up there, grabbed a microphone in the offseason and said, at the beginning of training camp, rather, I'm here, I'll be here if you'll have me. And then left in the middle of the night to join the Brooklyn Nets. They view him not just as an opponent, they view him as a traitor. He knows it, and they treated him like that. And the secret here is Kyrie's actually a very nice guy, okay? He don't want to be seen like that. He ain't trying to be a pariah. That's not who he is. That's not what he's about. And that is how Boston rolled up on him. And he looked like a dude that was a deer in headlights on the basketball court for Boston, completely ill-equipped to deal with the tsunami of venom that they threw down upon him. I'm not taking anything away from Holiday and White and Brown and Tatum. I understand how elite Boston is defensively. But we've seen the great Kyrie Irving figure stuff out throughout his career. He's a champion, for God's sakes. But these 3 games in Boston, he looked like just a role player. It was that bad. And that's going to be hard for him to live down. He will, because he's too great not to. But it's going to be hard. Whenever he goes to Boston, that's going to always be remembered.
When I left Boston today, there's 2 things in my head that were big what-ifs in this series. One, what if Luka doesn't foul out of Game 3? Because it's a 3-point game with 4 minutes to go. Who knows what happens? Second is, what if it wasn't the Celtics that Mavericks were playing against? Now, I'm not saying the Celtics would have, they clearly dominated the Eastern Conference, but what if it had been the Bucks? What if it had been the Sixers? What if, just to tweak Stephen A., what if it had been the Knicks? What would Kyrie have done in the finals? Because I covered the Western Conference Finals. He crushed the Timberwolves. He dominated the Timberwolves. He was awesome in that series.
And they were the #1 defense in the NBA.
He didn't come into this series on a slump. And that's what I wonder, because everything that he accomplished this year, that's the one thing that he wasn't able to overcome, was playing in Boston.
In terms of his aggression, playing in attack mode, getting downhill, dropping his shoulder, we didn't see Kyrie in attack mode. To me, it looked like he was weighed down, which when you, Stephen A., talk about Boston and the crowd, to me, like, what do we know Kyrie to do? To create, to be light, to float the ball up. There's an airness about his game. And there's a quickness about his game.
Yes, it
he
is.
looked weighed down in terms of the effortless, in terms of the flow, in terms of the speed. He just looked heavy in Game 5. And I'm sure there's a lot of heavy emotions for him that he's battling.
Right.
And this is, again, a step in his journey. But Boston just weighed him down. I thought in Games 1 and 2, he looked a little frantic, and it looked like it was too much for him.
Yeah.
But then in Game 5, he looked weighed down.
It's unfortunate that he let the crowd essentially steal his moment.
Well, it is unfortunate. And this is the thing. The crowd has assisted the Boston Celtics in rattling quite a few players over history. The greatest point guard in the history of the game, Irvin Magic Johnson. There was a game where he made 3 consecutive turnovers late in the fourth quarter to blow a championship that left him crying in the showers. Now, obviously, Dennis Johnson had a lot to do with that. The late, great Dennis Johnson, God rest his soul, and what he brought to the table as a defensive wizard in the NBA for years. But that crowd in Boston is something special. I was there 16 years ago, right in the suite, where, doing NBA shoot-around, and we were all hanging out there, and Kobe Bryant and the Los Angeles Lakers got annihilated by 38. Okay, they got destroyed. We saw that. So you see games where that happens. This happened to Kyrie for the series. Like, literally, you saw, Kobe might play good one game, but have an off game the next. And then, Magic might do this one game and then not the next. Kareem might do this one game, but then not the next or whatever. It was about the competition. It wasn't clearly and flagrantly about the audience. With Kyrie Irving, he was a completely different human being away from TD Bank Garden. When he stepped inside TD Bank Garden, it was very, very bad. And you would never expect to see him look that way. Games 1 and 2, rattled. Last night, resigned. Like, I can't do anything with this. And you would never expect to see that from him, ever.
Do you think, I'm just thinking of him when he played with LeBron. Do you think if he had a different teammate, they could have galvanized him or got his head on straight? Like if it was him and LeBron in that situation?
You know what? That might be the most favorite question you've ever asked me in the history of your time on this show. I love that question. I love that question. Because let me tell you something. I would love, what if KG, Kevin Garnett, was Kyrie's teammate? What if that was it? What if Kobe was Kyrie's teammate? Or for different reasons, what if it was LeBron all over again? Because you see, whereas Luka is great, as well as LeBron, of course, 2 things that LeBron does exponentially better than Luka: defend, and number 2, not compromise pace. LeBron could go as slow or as fast as you need him to. Up and down, up. That's what you want to do. Let's do it. We need to slow it up here. That's fine. You need me to be the playmaker. That's fine. You need me to step back and be deferential. That's fine. If that were LeBron, in Game 3, Kyrie would have had that ball. He would have seen Kyrie in his bag. He would have sensed that this Kyrie's flowing right now. Here you go. That's what he would have done. And he would have complimented him instead of compromising him. So in that regard, yes. But I love the question because a guy like KG would have been in, am I lying? He'd have been in Kyrie's face.
That's what I mean. Get him out of his head.
And listen, he would have, this is what Kyrie, Kyrie wouldn't have spoke like this, but KG would have been like, F them. Hell with
That's what I mean.
He would have been going. He's like, what are you doing?
Let them steal
he would have been like, he would have in front of the Boston crowd on the court. He'd been bump all of them. Let's go. And he would have been telling the whole crowd to kick rocks. Not that he would do that to the Boston fans because he loved them because that's where he played. Right. But I'm talking about any of the opponent's crowd. That's KG. That brother. If Kyrie had that dude as a teammate, that mouth, that might have been different. Might have been different.
I think the point you made too about someone else that could turn things around on the defensive end would have been helpful also, because if Kyrie's not hitting shots and Luka's not hitting shots and Kyrie's in his head, if Luka's not hitting shots, how does he galvanize the team? He's not going to be able to make a defensive play to get the team going. And the thing is, this is also a testament to this Celtics team, because what did you talk about with Drew Holiday? Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown could afford to start slow in that game because they had teammates around them that could pick up the slack. They had teammates around them that could make plays.
Yeah.
Kyrie and Luka did not have that luxury in this series.
When you're in your head, you're dead. Take it from someone who likes to overthink.